Hello again, guys. It is I, Free 700. We are back with some hentai reviews. This time, what the fuck is Goblin Treasures by Martincorps. Now, the hentai comic Martincorps, Goblin Treasures, it comes in two sets. So there's part one, there's part two. So we might get a part 3 later in the future. We might get a part 4. We might get a part 10. Who knows? The first one was really incredibly short. It's only like 11 panels. It's not much. It's literally just 11, which isn't enough for you to really get your rocks off. It's enough for you to get hard on the idea, but it's not really enough for someone to actually bust a nut. But that's where part 2 comes in. And part 2 is significantly better. There is a major difference between part 1 and part 2. For this review, I'm going to critique both of them together. And it's going to kind of suck for part 2 because a lot of the negative is in part 1. But at the same time, part 2 ain't that good. It's only good when you compare it to part 1, which is, again, kind of off to a rocky start. It's really rough. So what we mean by this is that the hentai itself has really good attraction to it. A goblin, so you got like a short woman with amazing figure, just huge boobs, nice thick thighs, huge ass, really attractive, really good the way he's drawn it. But God, it's somehow the story that fucks it. I don't know how fuck he did it, but it's the story that's fucking it. You see, by the story that's fucking it, I'm talking about how the author, Martincorps, doesn't seem to understand the core value when it comes to hentai drawing. Is that most of the time, when it comes to the action, there doesn't need to be words. Use the power of silence to your advantage. Make it where there's no lines of dialogue. I'm not joking. As you can see here on both sides of me, these panels are at least 40% text bubbles. And it gets to the point where it covers up some of the art, which I can't show because YouTube restrictions. But it gets really rough to masturbate to this thing. It's like, dude, too much talking. I can't even see what the action is going on. And also the action when it does happen, like all the ramming of that dick in there, it's very quick and it's anticlimactic. It's too quick, not good enough. The actions involved just rely upon heavy text, a lot of messages, like, oh yeah, this is so tight, oh my god, it's going in so hard, oh. It's like, what? You don't need to tell me every step of the way and hold my hand. I'm telling you, Martincorps, your audience isn't dumb. We can get along to a good fap if you made more panels with less conversation and more action. We could definitely get by on that. Now, I could see some influence here from other hentai artists, like my favorite in case, is that the artist here does put some work. They do put some effort into the environment, into the world that the goblin is in, and the knight. I am not even sure what the fuck the knight's name is, because the character is really not that, I guess, noticeable. So already you got a character who we don't care about. The only one we care about is the goblin, just because she's always in the center view of the panels. But even then, she's not really that interesting other than she doesn't know the language to speak. She only seems to understand it. So story-wise, there's nothing really there. There's nothing. But part 2 is starting to begin a story, and we could kind of see that. Like, humans are very afraid of goblins. Humans seem to be very xenophobic. Okay, that's some interesting stuff. That sounds cool to explore. A very medieval setting. Okay, you know, there's some stuff here to explore. Apparently the knight is a do-gooder, which is odd considering he's raping the shit out of his goblin and refuses to, you know, let her go or just kill her. Because, I mean, I get it, you know, she might be an evil creature or some shit, but I don't think it really works when you look at something that you're trained your whole life to kill, and then you just look at it and go, you know what? I'm gonna fall in love with it and stick my dick in it. Like, it just didn't really make much sense to me. And I get it, you know, it's a hentai, you know, you're not supposed to do it, but Not supposed to make a lot of sense with it, but at the same time, you know, it is art. And art's supposed to have like an in-depth meaning or some sort of story behind it. And a lot of hentai comics do have their own stories to them. They may be bad, but they do have a story. Like Alfie is so good that you actually stop caring to masturbate at times and you just want to learn the story. So Goblin Treasure doesn't really do well for me. Also, as far as art goes, it's very generic. Like all the human characters seem to look the same, and we don't even see their faces most of the time. We just kind of see their lower areas, like their chest and below. There's also a few X-ray scenes, which, as you know, it's kind of my weakness. I like X-ray scenes, but the problem is that the artist doesn't put any effort into it, like at all. All he did was, I'm not joking. Oh my god. All he did was he drew the woman getting fucked by the guy, where you could see like the top of the dude, like the back of the dude's head. You see this tiny like goblin getting like drilled into the penis, but all you see is just the outline of his penis. That's it. That's the X-ray. I was like, what the fuck is that? That's the laziest I've ever seen. Like, oh my god. This artwork has so much laziness to it. It's actually hard to comprehend what's going on. Oh man. Like there are times where I'm looking at it and I'm like, if you put more attention to detail in the background and in the environment, it would help a lot. There are times where if you did an X-ray scene but you actually show like a separate panel image that might be colored and you see like the vaginal walls like pushing on the guy's dick, way better. I could easily bust a nut to that. But if you're just gonna do like a small X-ray thing and you're just gonna do the laziest fucking X-ray I've ever seen, why bother? Like, why? Why bother? That's so bad. It was really funny though when I saw it and I noticed it. I was like, what is that? What is that? Is that something that's wrong with the girl's body? Is that like part of her vagina? No, that's just, oh, okay. That's just supposed to be the guy's dick. It was a really bad moment for me. The art is very mediocre at best. A lot of the details do kind of get forgotten though. Like at one point the girl's getting fucked against a window, but some of the slides you don't see the bars anymore of the window, so you just see the woman, and it's like I can't tell if she's pressing against glass or not. Like, does the artist lack the capability to draw that? That could be totally it too. It could be his first time doing something like this. I'm not familiar with him. It could be that he's beginning, in which case, if he's a beginner hentai comic individual, he's doing great. If he's not a beginner and he's someone who's been doing this for a while, this is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Both of these combined, there's a huge lack of detail, huge lack of story, which the story part really upsets me, because how do you have like 40% of your panel is straight up text and yet the story is lacking? How do you do that? Alfie is really good. If you don't know it, check it out. Alfie's really good because there are moments where there is no dialogue at all, because dialogue's not needed sometimes. Sometimes you just draw this beautiful piece and that's it. Just let it speak for itself. Sometimes the actions don't need someone to draw and go, oh man, your pussy's so tight. No, you don't need that sometimes. Sometimes you just draw the scene of the guy just fucking what looks like a very tight original wall. And it's like, wow, you know, I can just imagine what that's like. Overall, I'd give it a 4 out of 10. It's not that impressive. I actually didn't come to this. I tried my hardest. I just couldn't do it. Maybe that's because, you know, I'm married. Maybe it's because this was just below average. But to me, I was just disappointed because, again, the artist had everything that I actually find is a bit of a fetish that I like. Short women, big boobs, you know, X-ray scenes, storyline being developed. But all of them fell flat. All of it was terrible. It was like, my review might actually be biased. I might actually be giving it too good of a rating. So you guys down in the comments, let me know. Maybe I'm ripping into it too lightly. But I stand by my review, a good 4 out of 10. As I hope that in the next series, I will try to see it more often. to see if he does upload a part 3, part 4, part 5, and maybe we'll come back with a second part review where I say, fuck everything I said now. This is a godsend. Who knows? Besides that, this has been Free 700. I'm out. See you guys next time. As always, comment down below what you guys think. Maybe you guys like this. Maybe you guys agree with me, where it's like, this is a little lackluster. I kind of wish it was better. I actually wish it was better because I like this kind of stuff. I'm like, small girls with big tits, huh? But it fell flat for me. So, you don't always live up to your dreams, you know? Besides that, see you guys next time.